Tony wanted to see the face of the ancestor, so he secretly lifted the woman's mask. But the next second, the entire forbidden ground shook, and the spirit tablets of the 12 elders flew into the air. This scene terrified Tony, who was a firm materialist. It turned out that his father had once mentioned the legend of the ancestor of Nuwa Opera sleeping in the forbidden ground. And it was true. The woman was not only the family's ancestor, but also the founder of the intangible cultural heritage of Nuwa Opera. 1,000 years ago, the woman saved the people plagued by a deadly epidemic by performing Nuwa Opera. But in doing so, she fell into a deep sleep for 1,000 years. Until that day, Tony's father was leading the clan to help Nuwa Opera apply for heritage status. As the heir to the clan, Tony was uninterested in traditional culture, so he sneaked away to get some fresh air. Little did he know, foreigners were trying to steal the sacred artifact from the forbidden ground. Tony, seeing this, yelled angrily and stopped them, but he was no match for them, and was punched away, landing next to the ancestor who had slept for 1,000 years. Thinking someone was simply sleeping here, Tony quickly shouted for her to wake up and run, but he accidentally touched the woman's mask, causing the entire cave to shake. Seeing this, the foreigners quickly stole the sacred artifact and fled. To wake the woman, Tony had no choice but to remove the mask, but in doing so, he awakened the ancestor who had slept for 1,000 years. At first, Tony thought the woman was a ghost, and was about to run away but was caught by her magic. When she learned that Tony was the heir to the clan, she immediately branded him with a master-servant contract. Tony had no choice but to respectfully serve her. The two then went back to the clan. At that moment, the clan was hosting a Nuwa Opera performance. Watching the performers making mistakes in their dance, the woman was displeased. It was a civilization that had been passed down for thousands of years, but now it was in decline. Unable to bear it, she went up to the stage to guide a girl. This action immediately caused discontent among the crowd. The girl was recognized as a Nuwa Opera genius in the clan, and they couldn't let an outsider like the woman point fingers. Hearing the complaints, the woman glared at them. Tony quickly brought her a chair and invited her to sit. Seeing her in such a dominant position, the crowd was upset. How could the young clan leader serve her and let her criticize Nuwa Opera, which had been passed down for generations? The clansmen were ready to take action against the girl, but Tony rushed forward to stop them. At that moment, a woman came running, holding a child infected by a ghost plague, begging them to save the child. Everyone was shocked. The ghost plague had been eradicated by the ancestor 1,000 years ago, but the woman explained the child hadn't participated in the blessing ceremony, so this happened. She then told Tony to use Nuwa Opera to save the child, but Tony had never learned Nuwa Opera. To his surprise, the woman said only Tony could save the boy, and handed him her mask. She then began to teach Tony the Nuwa Opera, and the boy quickly recovered his health. This miracle stunned everyone. Even Tony, who had always been skeptical of Nuwa Opera, finally believed in its magical power. The next day, Tony's father learned that he had entered the forbidden ground, and was furious. Just as he was about to scold him, the woman stopped him. It turned out that Tony's father had recognized her talents, and wanted to ask her to help with the Nuwa Opera heritage application. But just as he was about to speak, the clansmen interrupted. They hurriedly reported that the foreigners had successfully applied for Nuwa Opera's heritage.